Oh.
Whoa.
I act surprised every time that we do this because
But
we
you
go
kind of
from
are.
like the intro to like the video of you and me. But you always just see me the whole time.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
then
not
all of a
like
sudden, whoa.
yeah. It's not like this is a surprise.
I mean, it kind of is though, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess it is a little bit.
Like you're surprised
I'm
every time.
surprised. You know what I am?
Angry.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm very tired.
Like, actually, I'm going to bring up this note then.
Yeah.
I messaged you maybe like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You didn't know what day it was.
I never do.
And I said, you've been working so much, you don't even know what day it is.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know it was Sunday or Tuesday.
At some point, I just completely lost track of whatever days were. I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, we were actually just talking about that, which is like, it's the holidays. I just took time off work,
Yeah.
like a week.
Yeah.
And I ended up just working the entire time.
Yeah. I said my whole thing was that I'm taking off between Christmas and New Year's. And like I've done nothing but be a slave throughout that entire time. You know, like I was just like, I'm gonna take some time off. Give me some time to like organize my life, get everything in order. And it's been nothing but like chaos.
Family chaos or like work chaos?
All of the above.
Yeah.
And life chaos. I mean, where do I even start? There's so much shit going on. Here's a perfect example, right? I started telling you about this the other day. So, as some people know, we moved out of the city a few years ago when we started a family, and we have a house that is, we're not like in the middle of nowhere, but we got some space. There's trees around. There's woods. I see animals. You know.
Yeah.
And we live on a curve, and on the other side of the curve, there's kind of a steep drop off, and there's like this like stream or creek or whatever you want to call it.
Brook.
And people go whipping around this curve all the time that aren't familiar with the street, or otherwise people go whipping around the curve that are familiar with the street, and they kind of like race it. And it's a pretty quiet neighborhood. And did I tell the story about the friggin' dudes on like the 4-wheelers that I yelled at?
Yeah.
I did, right?
You did. Yeah.
So those guys have cooled it off. But now there's a guy. So it was Christmas Eve, and my wife and I are doing our Christmas Eve stuff. You know, we have 2 kids and a lot to do. And we finish up at 1:30 in the morning. And I finished. I think I was wrapping my wife's presents, you know, and I just finished, and I hear a loud bang, like so loud that it sounded like the garage door of my house fell down, just like collapsed, because I could like at 1:30 in the morning I couldn't fathom what this sound was, and it sounded like it lit like a garage door fell 20 feet. So I'm just like, what was that? But at the same time, I'm so tired. I'm like, whatever it was, I'm still here, so it can't be that bad.
Dude, I do that all the time. I'm scared of like ghosts and things like that before I go to bed. Once I'm asleep and there's sounds, who cares?
That's what I say.
I'm not getting up.
When I'm in bed and my wife wakes me up, she's like, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" And I'm like, "What? You hear what?" She's like, "Something happened." And I was like, "Is it still happening?" She's like, "I don't hear it now." And I'm like, "So then you're fine. It's fine. Everything's fine."
Yeah, you're good. Are you allowed guns?
Am I allowed guns?
Yeah.
But from who's to? I mean, I live in the United States of America. I think everyone.
Yeah, but I think New York's a little more. Is it harder?
No.
You get
You
guns?
get fucking. Dude, like all sorts of kids get guns constantly.
Really?
Do you pay attention to the news?
Yeah, but I thought it was like super illegal in New York. Like they give you like life or something like that
I
for
don't
having
know.
a handgun.
I don't. Well, I mean, I'll get to that. I'll get to that part of my story because guns are involved.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
So, where was I? I forgot because I don't know what day it is.
Yeah. You're in bed. You hear a big bang.
No, I wasn't in bed.
Oh.
I was awake, as I normally am at 1:00 in the morning. So it was. So I heard the bang, And I was just, like I said, I just finished like putting shit under the Christmas tree or whatever, which, by the way, I hate Christmas and I hate
No,
the
I hate
Christmas
Christmas.
season.
Yeah,
I like giving
definitely.
gifts to people and I like being generous and like that part. I like seeing my kids enjoy Christmas and whatever. That's where it ends.
So what? Why don't you don't like other people?
I just hate it. I hate everything that's involved with it. Like
Yeah,
everywhere you go, there's traffic. Everywhere you
yeah,
go, people are freaking out about shit. Everywhere you go, there's sales and people being like greedy monsters. Everywhere you go, there's like there's problems with everything. People are losing their minds, you know?
yeah,
Everyone's in a bad mood. The weather sucks. It gets dark at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
yeah,
Everything is just the worst, you know?
yeah. I hate it.
It sucks.
Everybody's stressed out too.
Yeah,
Nobody likes it.
constantly. And then of course you put work stuff on top of it and everybody needs everything before the holidays. Come on.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
I hate it. I hate
yeah,
it. I hate it. I hate it. And then you get
yeah.
the break in between Christmas and New Year's where it's supposed to be quiet and then you get people sneaking in where it's just like, I know you're probably not doing anything, so can you do this really quick? And then I do because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, because well,
It's mostly because I want to get paid.
yeah, and you like it. You like doing it.
Yeah.
You be doing it.
Yeah. So I hear this noise, and my wife texts me. She's upstairs in bed, and she's like, "Did you hear that?" And I go, "Yeah, I heard that." She goes, "It sounded like a car accident." So my first thought is that someone crashed into my house because of the way it sounded.
Yeah,
And that would not necessarily be the craziest thing in the world because when I was a kid and we moved to the neighborhood that my parents live now, there was a drunk driver who smashed through our fence and drove into our above ground pool at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
isn't that fucking terrifying?
Yeah. And that's like, like where I grew up.
Or if you're going for a morning swim.
It was, yeah. Oh God. I mean, it was early. So I didn't have any business being in a pool at 5 o'clock in the morning in September,
Yeah,
you know?
training.
But like, see, I don't even know where I was. What was I just saying? I'm too tired. I'm getting thrown off left and right here.
So you're upstairs. Your wife goes, "Is that a car accident?"
Yeah.
You
Okay.
think,
So the first thing
"Holy
I do is
shit."
I look on the other side of the house, the side that I'm on. I'm like, well, it looks safe. So then I'm like thinking about, all right, well, what is it? And I have, as these stories tend to include, I look at my cameras and I'm like, well, let me find what's going on. I look through at all the cameras and I don't see anything. So I was like, okay, so it looks like my house is probably fine. But then I go through and I go through like the Nest app and I go to where the sound was and I find it. And the car was on the other side of my house where the turn was. And it was a pickup truck that was doing about 60 miles an hour whipping around that curve and just hit a
Yeah.
tree. Like driver side first.
How fucking sketchy is that?
Dude, it was like my first thought. So normally, as you know, like I'm going out there, I want to know what's going on, you
Yeah.
know, and I am not afraid to confront whatever is out there. It doesn't matter to me like what it is. So I'm like, holy shit, I got to go out and see what happened. And my wife's like, don't go outside. What if it's like a drunk guy? What if there's like something going on? You don't know what's going on. Don't go outside. And
Yeah,
it's
you live in
Christmas
the
Eve.
United States, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You're fucking
And
around.
it's Christmas Eve too, so I'm just like, the two thoughts in my head were maybe some shady shit is happening, or maybe there's a dead body in there. Either one, I don't really want to be involved with on Christmas Eve, you know. So like a couple years ago, we were on my way to my in-laws' house, and some woman who was like all like, I don't know, she was like definitely on pills and was drunk or something, and
Yeah.
she crashed her car like a mile away from my in-laws' house. Oh, here we go. See, the
No, I'm here.
video thing throws me off sometimes because sometimes it freezes, but the audio is fine.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, we got this video for the people, but sometimes it throws off my stories. Anyway, so anyway,
still
I
here.
stopped to see if this woman's okay, and I swear she like her bad luck like rubbed off on me, and the following year was the worst year of my life, and I blamed her for the whole year.
Do you actually believe in that?
Um,
No.
like a yes and a no.
Yeah.
Because, like, I got out of the car, and this woman, I'm just like, you okay? You okay? Do you need help? Blah, 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 whatever, like Good Samaritan type shit. I
Yeah.
got my wife and my daughter in the car. You know, like, we're on our way for, like, Christmas lunch, dinner, whatever, afternoon
Yeah.
at my in-laws' house. And this woman is just, like, completely fucked up out of her head. And she just, like, drove across. She got off the highway and just drove directly across the street, through some signs, and then lodged her car into the broken wedge of the metal of the sign that she knocked over.
Fuck.
Yeah, and I'm like, are you okay? Need help? No, don't call the cops. Don't call. And I'm like, oh, you fucking get one of these again?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just like, all right. Well, you got to do something because you can't be here because you're blocking traffic. And, like, if you need help, let me help you. If you don't need help, then I don't know what to tell you. So I'm there trying to help her. Some other guy gets out, and he's like, man, I'm literally moving to Vegas right now. And he's like, his car is full of stuff. And he's like, I'm just trying to help, and she's just like giving us a hard time. So I walk back to the car. I said to my wife, I'm like, call the cops. Like, we got to, this has got to, like, something's got to give with this. And,
wait a second. This is like a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
She touches you. There's like a sparkle.
Oh, yeah. So she, like, rubbed off her, like, bad luck onto me.
Yeah. Because you didn't care enough to help her.
I was trying to help her. Stupid fucking asshole that she was, man.
You called the police on her?
Yeah, yes, I did. Yeah. Hell yeah. I wanted to see her get dragged out in handcuffs. She was being such an asshole. And I was, like, really I was like, I'll give you a ride. Like, well, I didn't say I'll give you a ride, but I was, like, getting to that point where I was just like, if you need help, like, we're a mile away from like, the town area. Like, we can call somebody for you. We can, whatever you need to do to get picked up and get into a situation that's helpful. And she was being such an asshole, like, yelling at me and, like, don't, like, like, shit like that.
Yeah, so she's like, do you have any more Percocets?
Yeah, you're right. I'm like, you're on your own then. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And then, like, I started to see other people stop because once I left, they were just, like, they saw, like, a car stopped on the side of the road. So they went to go help her, and I was like, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Don't help this woman.
Man, that is a Christmas movie, and you had to pay for it, man.
So, flashback to a couple of days ago, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want this guy's bad luck, So, so I'm just like, all right, let me assess the situation here. Everybody else in the house is asleep. Even the dog is asleep, and I go over to the window to the other side of the house, and I'm looking, and I kind of can't really see anything. I saw a couple of lights. I saw one car kind of stop for a little bit, but I couldn't tell what was going on because it was, like, through the trees. So I'm, like, trying to maneuver throughout my house to get the best vantage point without actually going outside.
Yeah.
So finally I find, like, a good window to look through to get, like the best shot. And there are these two cars that pulled up. One of them's the headlights are on. The other one pulls up slowly. The other guy starts yelling. What does he say? I showed you the video of it.
Yeah, he yells, he's like, fucking move.
Fucking move. Keep driving.
Drive.
Yeah. And I'm like, who is he yelling at? Did someone stop to try and help and they don't want to be helped? Or they, like, what is exactly going on here?
Yeah.
So then I'm, like, trying to get a better look, and they jump in the cars and they start peeling out. So I'm like, oh, something is definitely up to no good, because the way they were getting in was more of a getaway and less of a helping thing. So just as I see that, my instincts kick in, and I'm like, no, some shady shit is going on. So I'm like, I'm calling the cops right now. So I go outside because I'm, like, ready to go in there and just like get information, get a license plate, get something while I'm
ID,
on the phone.
please, sir.
Yes, I'm just like, I'm gonna citizens arrest these motherfuckers, and that I see lights and sirens. So the cops were already there. Somebody already called the cops.
Fuck.
So my neighbor across the street, as you know, is an ex-cop. He's a retired cop. And I saw him out there and his wife. So when I see them out there, I'm like, all right, I'm definitely going out there, because as a retired cop, he's packing heat.
Yeah.
So his wife says to me, she's just like, what did she say? She said something about a gun. And I was like, what do you mean a gun? I was like, he is my gun. I don't need a gun. He's already got one. I'm just going to stand behind him.
The other people, they have guns?
Yeah, across the street, because he's a retired cop, so he's got tons of guns.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's the perfect opportunity. Like whenever some shit goes down, and he's out there, like I know he's out there and he's ready to like throw down, but I don't know how it is with people. Like I don't know who's carrying a gun on them. I don't know who has a weapon or whatever. So in my older age, I kind of I didn't used to think about stuff like that when I was a kid, and I just used to yell at whoever, regardless of what could happen to me. But ever since an incident that happened a few years ago, I think about that a little bit now. So I stop myself. Yeah. But like if he's out there, I know that he has a gun. So it's not me. I don't have a gun, but I can stand right next to him and talk as much shit as I want because I know we're on the same side.
Yeah. What if the other people got like a fucking AR-15 or something?
I mean, whatever it is, I'm feeling like I'm at least safe enough.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not worried about like someone with like an Uzi or a machine gun or something like gonna, you know what I mean? Like I feel like
bystanders usually don't get fucking.
Yeah. I think I'm okay for the most part. So when I go out there, I'm just like I'm ready to go. But so him being an ex-cop too, whenever stuff like this happens, which has happened like 4 times this year, he goes over there with a flashlight. He's inspecting, blah blah blah. There's no body in the car. So the truck hit a tree. It collapsed the steering column, and the whole driver's side was completely destroyed. And there's no body in the car. There's blood everywhere. No body.
Like how much blood?
A ton.
Goddamn.
And my neighbor is just like, if he's not dead, he will be very soon. Like that amount of blood. So there's like fire trucks, there's ambulances, there's cops, there's state troopers, there's like everything there. And one of the EMS people comes over to us, and she's just like, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, because if he was wearing a seatbelt, he definitely would have been pinned against the back of the car. So he definitely wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So my neighbor goes over there. He's looking. There's like cans of Bud Light. There's like all sorts of shit. And then there's also like police badges and stickers and stuff on the car. So like, is this guy a cop? Like what's going on here? Then someone's just like, was he being chased? Like what is the situation that just happened here? You know. So when all was said and done, like right now I still don't know what the deal was. We don't know what happened. But between that and the tow truck, they had to like pry the truck off the tree, and this is like going on. It's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, is when all the stuff finally ends. So that's when I went to bed, and then my daughter's up at like, I don't know, 6 o'clock to open presents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What'd you tell her the Big Bang was? That's Santa Claus.
She didn't hear it. She was passed out. She's been so amped up for the past month for friggin' Santa Claus to come that she just like crashed that night.
Santa's coming tonight? She heard the bang and was like, oh.
I told her Santa Claus fell off the roof. I was like, 2 of the reindeer broke their necks. Half of Santa Claus's sleigh broke off. All the toys.
So there's no
out.
sign of this dude like running away from the vehicle?
No. And
he got in those.
I don't know what happened. And he was going fast as shit. There was no brakes. There was no skid marks.
Yeah.
There was nothing. He was just accelerating directly into a tree.
Marty McFly.
That's what I said. I said maybe this was a Back to the Future scenario.
Yeah, that guy's.
He was doing 88 miles an hour, and he just fucking disappeared into 1955.
Oh, man. I don't know why this made me think of this, but I just watched for the first time ever 7.
Oh, okay.
Fucking that movie's really fucked up.
Yeah,
that shaped my New York now. That's New York, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen 7 since I think it came out, which is like
1977.
Yeah, yes, it came out in 777 AD.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. I remember it being good. I don't really remember much of it.
That's New York to me.
You ever see Fight Club?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Fight Club?
It's weird. I read the book.
Yeah.
Watched the movie, and now I reading the book now. I can't read it not in Edward Norton's voice and his like cadence. That's how good the movie was.
Once?
I've read it twice. Yeah, just twice.
You like the movie that much?
I thought the movie was really well done.
Yeah.
What about you?
Don't care for it.
Why?
I don't know. It's just like seems like overhyped. it's just like it feels almost like you know, like when something is cool for a second, and then bros get a hold of it, and then it's not cool anymore.
Yeah,
it feels like that to me. It feels like it became like it's like one of those things that's like a counterculture thing that becomes like frat culture.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Which is like upsetting because when it becomes kind of like that mainstream, it's never appreciated the same way.
Right.
Like by those people, like
right.
they don't see like those nuances and things like that.
Right.
Which is kind of like hardcore. I'm sure you feel like that when like, because that kind of had a little bit of a mainstream.
Yeah, it does. And yeah, it does. It kind of, the mainstream thing happened at the same time where I was kind of building a career. So that's around the time where I started to dip out a little bit.
Yeah.
But, everything only lasts so long. And it's back to where, it's back to normal now.
Have you watched Fight Club recently?
No. I have no interest in watching it, honestly.
Dude,
I just don't care.
I love David Fincher, the director of that movie. And then I love what's his name? Fucking
Brad
Chuck.
Pitt?
No, yeah, I love Brad Pitt, man. Can't get enough of Brad Pitt.
I love Brad Pitt.
Oh, speaking of I think on the podcast you talked about New York Parks and Recreation Manager, something like that.
The show?
In New York. He built the bridges so that buses couldn't get under.
Oh, yes. You just made me forget his name because you said that. Fucking Robert Moses.
Robert Moses.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a movie coming out about him starring, and Edward Norton's in it.
I saw that. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of racism in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Motherless in Brooklyn. That looks good.
That's it. Yeah, I want to see that.
I like the title of that too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's going to be interesting one way or another.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see that. That looks good. You know what movie I can watch over and over again? American Psycho.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No.
That movie should be your Bible.
Christian Bale?
Yeah.
I can't say that I like really paid attention. It's on Netflix.
Oh.
I've definitely put it on.
Come on. Yo, it's excellent. It is so good. And for some reason, it's a serial killer movie that is so easy for me to watch more than just over and over and over on repeat.
Do you like him as a serial killer?
Yeah. Well, I do. I mean, the problem is I really like Christian Bale as an actor.
I heard he's a piece of shit, but
I don't really care. I mean, I love almost everything that he does. Like, did you ever see The Prestige?
Oh.
The Magic movie?
Oh, yeah. And for some reason in my mind, that was also Edward Norton. But I know exactly
that's The Illusionist.
That's The Illusionist. You're right.
That came out after, and it's not bad, but compared to The Prestige, it's whack as hell.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen. Then it was Edward Norton that I was thinking of, The Illusionist.
Yeah. The Prestige has Hugh Jackman in it.
Okay.
And they're battling to be the best magician, and Hugh Jackman can't figure out what Christian Bale is doing, and he goes through all these lengths. David Bowie plays Nikola Tesla.
David Bowie.
Yeah. And so Hugh Jackman goes through all these lengths and does extraordinary shit to try and copy what Christian Bale is doing. But Christian Bale is just basically just doing plain old regular magician shit. He's just really awesome at it.
Man.
It's a great movie. It's very disturbing in a few ways too. I won't tell you the twist because you should watch it, and I think you.
I think I'm going to watch it tonight.
Yeah, it's
I've been on this
really good.
I've been on this weird twist about or this weird binge about mentalists and things like that.
Yeah.
Trying to think of Banachek.
Yeah.
You ever seen that dude?
No.
There's this while he's a mentalist, Banachek, and he does weird things like that, can tell you kind of what you're thinking, and you don't know why.
Right.
He can tell you. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm gonna definitely watch this tonight. The Prestige.
Prestige.
All right.
I absolutely love that movie. We're kicking it old school on this episode so far. That's a 5 dinosaur right there.
You think?
Oh, absolutely. If you don't like that movie, I'm going to cancel this podcast.
Okay, but I got to give Fight Club then 5 dinosaurs.
Yeah, you
It's
would.
filmed beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I like best about Fight Club? The DVD packaging. Are you old enough to know what a DVD is?
Yeah, I don't actually own any DVDs or anything.
I have so many DVDs in my basement.
Yeah, I did when I was like 12, I guess.
Yeah, that was a thing that I used to do. Like when I would leave work in my early 20s, I would like go to Best Buy and just kill time and just buy like 3 or 4 DVDs
For like $4.99.
Yeah,
a piece.
just like walk around and look at the DVDs and just like buy whatever. Oh, special edition, cool. Oh, look at this, it's fucking Freddy Got Fingered, starring Tom Green. I'll buy that for $1.99.
Dude, that guy's from Canada.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Tom Green. Dude, Tom Green's funny.
Yeah, I like Tom Green. Why not?
He just missed though, like he was early on the internet, but he missed like the
weirdo
like
shit.
his fame, his height of fame and like the internet like came after.
Yeah, he was like a pre-internet.
Yeah.
But the problem is that if he didn't exist, all those internet type, even like the Adult Swim shit, I don't think would have. Yeah, I think he was a real kind of like a gateway opener to like weird dumb shit.
Yeah, I think Joe Rogan says that he started his podcast because he seen what Tom Green was doing.
Really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
He went on his show or whatever once, and then was like, "Oh, we could do this."
Really?
Yeah.
I would never.
He had it like in his house.
That.
Yeah, really weird.
Yeah, that Tom Green show when it came out, because it was like cable access in Canada, and then it got picked up on MTV, and I remember that being huge when I guess I was in high school, and it was just like it was so weird and so dumb, and it was just like you couldn't comprehend why it was so dumb.
But you liked it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Even watching it now, it's like so cringy to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like like the things that it's not even like well-rounded jokes. It's just like,
dude,
it's super.
You know what that makes me think of is just like the reason I think in this the reason why you love shit like that is because it's just pure creativity. You know what I mean? There's no like commercial rules. There's no restrictions. It's just someone doing something that is making them enjoy themselves. It's some weird shit that someone came up with, and that's that. You know?
It feels very like it didn't go through any kind of filter.
Yeah, it's just like it is what it is, and then that's it. And it's just you either enjoy it or you like. I watched that Netflix thing, The Toys That Made Us. Did you see that?
Okay, I started watching that. Yeah,
I watched the Ninja Turtles one.
Okay,
and it's really interesting to like watch the trajectory of those two guys, and they were just like we were trying to be like comic book artists and blah blah blah, and then they're just like sitting around screwing around one day, and they just start drawing stuff to make each other laugh. And they start drawing like these turtles that have like nunchucks and shit. Yeah. And they're like, oh, that's so funny, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden it turns into this thing. And you see like all the toys and the TV shows and the movies and whatever. And it's literally just a dumb idea that someone had. And like when you think about what dumb ideas are actually worth, not like financially, but like to the general culture of just like a Beavis and Butthead or a Ren and Stimpy or any of those types of things that are just stupid but capture so much life. You know?
That, do you think for people like for those creators, I mean, Beavis and Butthead's kind of different because I think that was like deliberately trying to create that, but with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, do you think that those guys like had other ideas that they were like super passionate about?
Sure.
And then this dumb little idea catches on, and you kind of like, does that make you resent people even more? That like your dumb little idea catches on, but the ideas that you're like shaping.
I gotta say, like watching them being interviewed, the two of them seem to really like that idea took off. Because I was thinking that when I was watching it, like, you know, like if you're like you're sitting there sculpting the friggin' Michelangelo, the David like part 2, you know, and then you also make like some little side like claymation thing, and someone's just like, that's that's the next masterpiece. And you're like, do you see that I just sculpted this out of bronze? And they're like, that's fine. But like this is what we love. Like some little Gumby looking shit.
Actually, that makes me think is like my projects that I do, like the ones that are quick and super easy. It took me a long time to like, I guess, be okay with doing a project that took me like 20 minutes or something like that to come up with the idea. And I used to think that those were my bad ideas. But usually those are like my good ideas.
Those are the best ideas, man.
Yeah.
Those are the ideas that are most fun because it's just like anything. Like I started doing this like born weird shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like I'm literally just drawing stuff to draw stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a total outlet to just do whatever. And this is an audio podcast for the most part, but I have like some weird shit here that people watching the video can see, and I'll post about this at some point. But it's just like all these like weird skulls with like extra, like the type is weird and the eyes are weird and there's all sorts of. Oh, I actually like this too. Hold on, look at that. It's just like weird, like splats and bad type and all this stuff for no reason.
No, like you have a Toucan kind of Sam style one.
Yes. Yeah. I
love that.
Like, what does that have to do with anything? You know? It's just it's fun to just like. To me, it was just like letting go and just drawing this stuff and just like letting it happen. It feels so liberating, and there's no rules to it,
Which is interesting because I don't think I can appreciate that right now. From where, like, in terms of, I can't do that.
Right. I couldn't have done this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
No way.
I'm still trying to make sense of like why I'm doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of stuff that like whenever I want to do something. The stuff that I like the most is the most Ninja Turtle-y Tom Green shit that I do. Yeah. Where it's just like, whatever. Just make something. No thinking. Just do it. No rules. No rhyme or reason. Just make something and that's it. Like 10 minutes in and out. Done.
It's almost because like that's what you do when you're like a kid. Just drawing to draw.
Exactly. Like here's another one. This is really good. My daughter drew this. She drew like the little like the nose logo.
Oh yeah.
This is like straight up video podcast, but she did it and she included herself in it. Where is it? Here we go.
Is she the end of your nose?
Yes. So I'll describe it for like people who are listening. It's like the nose, and also if you'll notice here, she's like, "You got a bloody nose."
A nose on a nose?
It's a nose on a nose, and then the tip of the nose is her face with hair and feet and arms and everything. It's like the greatest thing in the world.
Dude, are you wearing two hats?
I'm wearing I got double hats going on.
Dude, I drew the nose also. While we were sitting here. I always just doodle.
Oh, you doodle while we're sitting there?
Yeah.
That's funny. I can't do two things at once. I can't do that.
I mean, if people listen to this, I think they can tell you're more on topic, and I'm kind of just like
you just kind of floating around. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Jumping back really quick though, I'm surprised you don't like Fight Club. It's actually kind of
everything about it I probably should like. But I think it got that bro stigma so fast that I just like let it float away. I'm just like, there's other shit I can like.
Yeah, I guess which is weird, which is kind of annoying because it's like it's not even. Is it? It's not for like bros either.
No, I don't think it is. And I think a lot of the stuff that's like that, it's the funny stuff. It's like the things that are supposed to be mocking of a certain type of culture gets embraced by that culture because they're too stupid to understand that it's making fun of them.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? And then it takes it and it ruins it, and it turns the person who created that thing into almost like a villain.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I know
it happens
but
all the time.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely does.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's not even that like Fight Club is about that. But it's just like people pick apart the wrong pieces. Like I remember when Fight Club came out and everyone's like, we should make a Fight Club. It's like, that's not what it's about. It's not, has nothing to do with like the core part of what the storyline is.
No, right? I mean, I guess kids just want to fight.
Yeah, so go fight. Go be a
Yeah.
boxer. Go do MMA. Take karate lessons. Like
Start a
whatever.
fight club.
Yeah, it was. I just remember hearing that. And I was just like, it just has nothing to do with the reason why that story is intriguing.
Yeah.
It's not because people just go into a basement and fight.
That makes me think too. I heard him talking about when he kind of was becoming famous for that, his dad, and the movie was getting made, his dad wanted to meet Winona Ryder. Yeah, thank you. Man, I couldn't say her name. I'll draw a picture of her.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, she looks like a nose.
And he was like, no, I don't want my dad embarrassing me. So he was like, no.
Okay.
And then his dad gets murdered.
Oh.
By like a Nazi.
Oh. Ugh.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Jesus. Wait, whose dad got murdered by a Nazi?
The writer, Chuck.
Really?
Yeah.
Palahniuk or whatever? I don't know how to say his last name.
Palahniuk?
Is that how you say it?
Palahniuk?
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 I don't know.
Yeah, I never know how to say it.
If anybody knows, write in with like, just spell it out, as simply as you can for us so we can.
Palahniuk?
I don't know.
Yeah, man, really interesting.
That's wow, that's really shitty.
And how he kind of resented or like regretted not introducing his dad and stuff like that.
I mean, whatever. Is Winona Ryder that special?
I mean, she's pretty good in Stranger Things.
Yeah, she's crazy in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
You see her when she was like winning that award a couple of years ago, and she was just like a psycho standing on stage with like her eyes all like crazy.
That was for the first season of Stranger Things.
I think so.
She was like looking off everywhere.
Yeah, she's
like,
nuts.
Everyone's involved, and she's just like, yeah, that's awesome.
Somebody blasted her with like a case of nitrogen in the face before she went up on stage.
That makes me think. Do you remember when like the South Park guys went to the Golden Globes, or I think it was the Golden Globes, on acid?
Yeah, I remember hearing that. I remember like when that story was a thing. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
What they do is it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do acid and get an address or anything.
Yeah.
But the fact that they just do everything kind of on their own terms.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
But that's again, they're coming from the same place.
Yeah.
Dumb shit that just like picked up.
Yeah.
And they use it to kind of just anything that has like a counterculture vibe, I think is just so it's very gratifying to look at.
Yeah. They've done it so well though.
Yeah. Well, they just became like really good at social commentary over the years.
Yeah.
But I was a big fan when I was a kid. I haven't watched it in like 8 or 9 years, so I don't. I still hear people talk about it and say it's good, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
That's funny because I've just started watching it like the last maybe 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Newer seasons.
Yeah.
The Simpsons, like you can't watch a new episode.
Yeah.
South Park doesn't. It feels. It's like not selling out. You know what I mean?
It feels on point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, it's my house. You know how we do it in my house. We're all about disenchantment right now.
Wait, that season's been out for like a year.
We just keep watching it over and over again.
Really?
Dude, it's so funny. My daughter loves Disenchantment. And it's the funniest thing, too. Like, I don't know if you remember this line, but we've gotten to the point where we know, like, every line from it. So when the baby is crying or whatever, my daughter goes over, she goes, shh, shut up.
Does Alpha say that? Or no, the little demon dude.
No. It's what do you call it? Bean's mom.
But yeah. Yeah.
But everything that we do is like always about Alpha or Lucy or whatever. It's so funny.
Your daughter likes that show.
Yeah.
That's good.
6 years old. I don't know if she's supposed to be watching it, but fuck it, she's fine.
Yeah. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. They don't do anything too outrageous.
I'm skipping right over that one.
Yeah.
You wrote a note in here that says, actually, you know what? I better not say what it says. Why don't we read what the guy says to you?
Okay. Well, wait, do we have to set this up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to set it up?
Okay. So you tweeted about that Cybertruck Tesla presentation that happened
Well, it's
when they
just a
released.
little backstory in case anyone doesn't know what happened, right?
Tesla brought out a really cool truck.
Yeah. It's like crazy futuristic looking, like boxy polygon. Looks like it came out of Tron.
You were saying what was one of the settings on the vehicle?
Oh, I don't even remember. I forgot. This was so long ago.
Yeah, it's fucking cool all around. The vehicle's cool.
It's called like chaos mode or like punch a
Yeah.
grandma in the face mode or some shit
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So you tweeted. Now I gotta find like the actual.
Oh yeah, what is it? Because it's like this whole thing. Let's see if we can find it.
You tweeted. While you're looking for it, if you don't find it.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so someone posts the Cybertruck thing, right? And it's the whole, there's like lasers. The logo for
Yeah.
Cybertruck looks like it's graffiti, like spray painted on the background. Like there's like strobe lights flashing. The Cybertruck comes on stage. There's smoke. The thing looks like it came out of a computer movie. There's flames shooting out. There's like techno music playing. Like
Yeah.
it's just like absolutely crazy. And then they're like talking about like how indestructible it is, and they just throw like fucking like giant metal balls through the window, and the windows just shatter.
Which do you think that was like a publicity thing or a marketing thing to get
I
people
just
to
think
share
they
it?
made a mistake. They probably pushed it too fast, you know? Like
Yeah.
before, because I saw a video of them like testing it before they came out on stage, I guess to make sure that the glass wouldn't shatter. And it was fine, like it bounced right off. So it probably just wasn't ready or something, you know?
Yeah. Regardless, it got shared because of that.
Yeah. Either way, it's just like a billion people are just like, that's cool.
Yeah. And some people fucking hate it.
I mean, those are the people that hate fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are the people who don't like Beavis and Butthead or Ren and Stimpy or Tom Green or whatever. Like they can't just like. So yeah, that's perfect segue. So I see this, and just like you and everybody else, which is like, what the fuck is this? This is like blowing my mind right now that this is even a thing.
Yeah.
And I wrote, well, now I officially only want to design for Tesla. Graffiti logos, lasers, explosions, polygon trucks, and throwing shit through glass windows. Sign me up. And everyone's just like saying the same thing. We're all like laughing about it on the internet, you know, with our like texting people and DMing people, and everyone's like, what is this? So this one dude just responds back, and he just wrote corporatist entertainment, period. Like, yo, why you gotta be such a wet blanket?
But you know what? I'm not gonna be. I literally had to Google it. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even understand what the fucking guy was talking about.
Oh yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
It's
stupid. So I just write back, lighten up, dude. And then he quotes a tweet from himself from November 13th, 2015 that says, I'll chill when I'm dead. Like, how hard was that for him to find that? Like, almost 4 years, like 4 years ago and change. Like,
yeah, fuck.
It's not easy to just like find shit on Twitter, you know? And then I just wrote back, cool.
Oh, he's also a designer. You guys should go check out his website.
Yeah,
that shit sucks.
No, don't even say the guy's name.
I'm not gonna, but you guys can go on John's Twitter and find it, and find this guy's shitty website. It's brown.
But then it gets worse, right? So he says that, and like you think like, okay, well, it's all over now, right? And then he goes to my profile, and he starts trying to cyber bully me. Which is a bad move because that's not going to happen. So no. I have like a pinned tweet, right? That's just like talking about like, buy my book, you know?
Yeah.
And he just writes, the best pinned tweets are not about selling, period. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, yo, leave me alone, you asshole.
Dude, you have a book that you worked really hard on?
Yeah. I'm proud of it, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Does he have a book? I don't know. And if he does, I don't know about it because it's not on his profile.
Also, your book is it's not selling. It's not really selling anything. It's just like, it's just your shit.
Yeah. There's nothing in the book that's like trying to sell it. I mean, beyond the book itself, it's a story about like how I got to where I am, work that I did. People wanted to see it. A publisher wanted to put it out. If none of those things existed, I wouldn't have done it. And I wouldn't have promoted it because people wouldn't buy it then.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like, so my response, so he goes, the best pinned tweets are not about selling. And then I just wrote back in all caps, except this one. Fuck this guy. Like, fuck this guy so much, you know?
It's weird. Do you think that, I don't understand these people at all, because it's like, he's not saying it to just get a reaction. He's like starting shit.
Yeah.
Like specifically, like not,
but also not
really
responding.
Yeah.
Like he could go, listen, anyone on the internet, if they want to go toe to toe with me, like bring it on. Like when you come into my world and my space, you're not going to win. It's just not going to happen. Because I've been around too long. I know what I'm talking about. And I'm also thick-headed as shit. I'm stubborn Sicilian. It's just not, that's not going to fly with me. Like, you're not going to beat me in something.
Dude, the shit that we say to each other in private messages would kill people.
Yes. I think most people would end up in like some sort of like, emotional facility.
Yeah.
If they had to sit through that conversation that we have.
Yeah, we hurt some of your friends.
Yeah, we go deep. We cut deep.
Yeah.
But this guy, like, what? Yo, why? Why does a person feel the need to go and this is a person who I looked at his stuff too, and it's just like he's one of these people that thinks that everything that he says on the internet is important, and that I think that he thinks that he's some sort of like future Nobel Prize winner or some shit.
Yeah.
But like, yo, nobody cares about you.
No, but also literally saying corporatist
entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is dumb.
Yeah, dude.
First off,
whatever.
Me and probably a lot of people had to Google it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of doesn't even really apply. It's mostly just dumb.
Yeah, he's just trying to like stand up on a pedestal and just be like this is just capitalist bullshit and blah blah blah, whatever. I'm just like, all right, dude, whatever. Yo, did you make a Cybertruck? Did you have all that money to put behind it? Like, you gotta. I think a person like this doesn't understand how interesting it is that a billionaire chooses to invest his money in the way that this guy does.
It's so awesome. It's like, and everyone's talking about how they're trying to kick him out of the company for a long time, right?
Yeah,
I believe. And it's like, yeah, because he doesn't care about investors. He's not spending money to like make money. You know, it's making money, but it's like all of his ventures are just fucking awesome.
You could say whatever you want about the guy. It doesn't matter, because he's just a crazy billionaire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when those like kids were like stuck in a cave or something halfway across the world, and he's like, I'm going to build a submarine and bring it over, and that guy's a pedophile or whatever. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
People are mad at him because he's rich enough to not give a shit.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Everybody wishes they were rich enough to not give a shit.
Yeah, except for it shows what he's actually a good person, realistically.
I mean, you don't know that.
Well, no, but here's the thing is like, I'd probably say way worse shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, knowing that I could.
No one. That's why no one's giving you money.
Yeah, I know, man. I can't. Dude, I gotta stay right where I am, because
gotta keep your ass in check.
Yeah, I already almost don't care. You know. Yeah.
But I think the amount of not giving a shit that he exudes is only matched by like old men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 90-year-olds.
Yeah. At their country club.
Yeah. Or on like a stoop somewhere.
Yeah. Where like they might not be here next week.
Exactly.
Those guys living his
like,
life,
just like whatever. I'm good. I'm living on borrowed time as it is. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. That is awesome. But yeah, I think he could be a lot worse. I would be a lot worse with my money.
I think, yeah. I like when you get into this whole like this guy's whole world of just like trying to like police, like and none of what I said in either one of those things that he felt the need to respond to is something that necessitates any kind of comment whatsoever. Like, I just said that this was a crazy presentation and I want to design for them. That's all I said. You know, like, I didn't say like, this is a great idea. This is going to change the world. This is the way businesses should be run. This is why blah, blah, blah. I didn't say any of that shit. I just said, it's got lasers and flames and exploding glass. I want to design for them.
Yeah, you want the freedom.
Yeah,
like that kind of freedom.
I want to shoot laser beams and fucking throw fireballs at stuff.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
And then just to like spray paint graffiti logos all over the place and let it be okay.
Yo, the way this is written too bothers me so much now that I'm rereading it again. The best pinned tweets are not about selling.
Yeah. So he's just like saying, like he's also just saying like your tweet sucks.
But also, no. But also the way it's written is just like, look, I'm a writer.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like a title for his manifesto.
Oh my God, this guy sucks so bad. I'm like, should I look at his profile and start ripping him apart?
I'll do it.
Yeah. This guy's so fucking dumb. First thing it says on here is he's a family man. Okay, then this is this type of shit that you teach your kids.
Yeah.
You know, to just like go after strangers and just
my God, dude,
talk
this
shit to
bio
them.
sucks.
His
so
bio
much.
does suck. Oh God, this guy sucks.
Dude,
He sucks.
I don't even want to read these words.
The last thing on his bio says herder of elephants in rooms. Like he's pointing at, he's the only person that can point out the fucking tough topics that people don't want to touch. Like John Contino trying to sell his book, or, you know, John Contino saying that he likes graffiti and laser beams. Good thing he pointed out, otherwise God knows what we would have done. I would have been running wild. Watch out.
Yeah, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah, because it sucks.
Also, like, this guy would get into a fight with somebody and tell them why they're wrong for having their opinion, when it's like, what we're doing, having a podcast, you kind of have to have a strong opinion about things. Even if somebody doesn't like it, you have to have an opinion, because no one wants to hear us sit here and be like, yeah, we like it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've been talking to my parents a lot about that lately, because, yeah, just about podcasts and stuff. And they're like, well, that person has a really strong opinion. And it's like, they'd be boring to listen to if they didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You wouldn't listen to them. But you don't want to, like, this guy's just kind of pointing out everything.
Yeah. And then, okay, so this guy, I'm just like, now we're just ripping this guy apart, so fuck him anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just like looking at his profile here. This guy is trying to act like he's got this holier than thou attitude, right? And he's got this tweet that's from 2 hours ago that said, just got an Amber Alert. The car is a Ford Escape. So, okay, I get the humor in that, but like, is he forgetting what an Amber Alert is? If this guy's going to stand on a fucking pedestal and try to be holier than thou, maybe you shouldn't make fun of someone like a kid getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I could like write to him, just be like, the best tweets are not making fun of kids getting kidnapped or something.
Yeah, go watch a documentary, Dick.
But here's the difference, right? Here's the difference. I'm not going to do that because I don't give a shit what this guy has to say about anything. And if I don't like it, guess what? I just don't look.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
man,
what I do.
I don't comment on anything.
It's the only way to be, man. There's no reason to. There's no reason to comment on shit like that. Like, this guy, the best thing for this guy to do in his life is to keep his fucking mouth shut. You know what I mean?
Dude, this guy doesn't have a job. It says right here, looking for work.
Well, there you go. Nobody likes him. Nobody wants to fucking keep him around. Yo, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why right now. Because this is the kind of guy that when he works for any type of office and people are going to the lunchroom to eat their lunch, into the break room, he goes in and he explains why what everyone is eating for lunch is bad for them.
And then he pulls out his fucking turkey sandwich with fucking extra mayo.
Take it easy with the turkey sandwiches, man.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You make fun of anything but the turkey sandwich.
Yeah, that's right. He brings out a bologna sandwich
with
extra mayo.
It's President's Choice.
Yeah.
Wait, do you guys have President's Choice?
No, but it sounds like something this guy would eat.
Yeah, like just the no-name brands.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know that everyone is like so sick of this guy. Yeah. Everyone is sick of this guy who's around him. His neighbors hate him. The people he works with hate him.
Dude, he's the type of guy in a meeting that when they say, does anyone have any questions? And it's the end of the fucking day. And
it's like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and this guy's like, I got a few questions and points here to make.
He's just like acting like he's important, and even the people in charge are like, dude, just pretend like meeting's over already.
Yeah.
There was a kid I went to high school with who used to do that shit all the time, and one of the teachers told him to sit on his hands.
That's what this guy should do. Sit on his hands.
That's right. Funny side story about that kid.
Yeah.
I got into a fist fight with him on Ellis Island.
This guy? Not the tweet guy.
The other kid, the kid from high school.
That was sitting on his hands.
Yeah. I fought him at Ellis Island.
He was sitting on his hands and you just started wailing on him.
This is like, I just picture this guy being like that type of person, you know? And this kid was just like following me around, breaking my balls nonstop. And I remember we just got into a fist fight, like on the way back to the ferry.
Man, who won?
What do you think?
Did you win? I guess you wouldn't be telling the story if you lost. I got my ass beat.
I'm not telling that story if I lost.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe he changed it.
No, it was pretty one-sided. Because I might have even sucker punched him at some point. I don't even know.
Yeah. Which, you know what? It was weird growing up. Like they always tell you, like, don't sucker punch. Yeah. Don't be the first one to throw the punch. It's like, no, you should always be the first one to throw the punch.
I mean, I don't totally agree with that, but I definitely was the first one to throw the punch at this point because I couldn't take it. I couldn't contain it anymore. Yeah. He was like up my ass nonstop, over and over and over again. I just turn around and boom, right hook, right in.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right, you should try to avoid.
Try to avoid it all the time, but if it's gonna happen, be the first one. Throw the punch.
Yo, sometimes people just need to get smacked.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to, and I don't advocate violence really, unless it's deserved, you know. And when it's deserved, I think it's deserved. Like some people just need to get smacked. Like especially like, you know, being like a father now, and I hear about like little kids doing shit, and especially being a father to a girl who is a very strong person. But like you get these little boys and they do dumb shit, and I'm like, yo, just smack them. You're stronger than he is. Like we bring her to the gym and she like boxes. Like she knows how to hit.
With Brian?
Yeah. So like I'm not worried. Some little kid can come. Like there was one kid, I think I might have told the story before, where he like put his hands around her throat.
Oh yeah.
Right? I was like, go in there, fucking punch him in the face.
Yeah.
You know, and if the teachers yell at you, I will come into school and I will yell at the teachers. And I'll be like, control your kids. Otherwise my kid will control your kids. Dude,
yeah. In the States everyone sues, but I think in that case, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, fuck that. I mean, there's certain. I mean, up to a certain age, I think you can get away with stuff. Like I remember a certain point in time in high school where I started to worry that if I got into a fight, it could be a lawsuit.
Yeah.
You know? Like once you hit like 9th grade or 10th grade or something like that, you're just like, can I get arrested for this? You know, 15, 16, something like that. But like when you're like anywhere between like 6 and like 12 or 13, anything goes.
Yeah, just kids being just kids being like, kids.
From a reasonable perspective, not like the kids who like bring in weapons and shit.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, that's also the thing is like times have changed.
Yeah, times have definitely changed. Yeah, there's no more like I'll meet you in the parking lot after school type of shit.
Yeah, because the kid probably bring a stabby.
Yeah,
or bring a knife,
or he'll like bring his iPhone and like live stream some shit or something.
Oh, that's another thing. Yeah. Is like now I'm so worried about that all the time. Is like I was walking down the street the other day with like some coworkers, and they like one of them leaned down and was like, "Oh my God, look," and it was like $80.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And she starts like handing us all the money.
Yeah.
Like we all get a little piece, and I'm like, no thanks. And I just like I felt like, is this on camera? Like, is somebody like sitting back filming us find money for some reason?
That all the time now.
I'm thinking about it all the time, man. I was like, no thanks.
That sucks. It sucks. You know. It's funny. When my wife was pregnant with our youngest, we were at the doctor's office, and you go into these doctor's offices and sometimes you sit there for like 45 minutes. Like after you're in the waiting room for an hour, you get into the room and then you sit there for like another half an hour, 45 minutes. Yeah. So she's sitting there. She's uncomfortable. I'm sitting there. I'm uncomfortable. So I have my phone out and I'm like answering emails and doing whatever. And then I remember like this one particular day, I have my phone in my hand. And you ever just like have your phone in your hand and you're just talking and it's not like you're just holding it. You're not doing anything with it. You're just holding it.
Yeah.
So I have it in my hand, and I'm talking to the doctor, and I see his eyes keep looking down.
Like you're recording him.
Yeah, and he's looking, and I look down, I see his eyes, and I look down, I go, "Oh, I'm not recording you." I said, "I just forgot I was holding it." And he was like, "Oh, okay."
Man.
But it was just
especially as a doctor.
Yeah. In that moment, I felt like really I felt the feeling of him calling me out for recording him, even though none of those things happened.
Just his
eyes, made me feel like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's like, I'm not recording you, dude.
Actually, that happens to me a lot where I pull my phone out. I don't know why. And I kind of just like check the time, or it's probably like a bad habit that kind of annoys people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll like pull my phone out mid-conversation, just look at it, and I feel like they think that I'm starting to record them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's why the Apple Watch is pretty good, because it's like, I just like glance at my wrist now. I don't pull my phone out for shit. It's pretty nice for that, you know. Text message comes in, email comes in.
I've got some awesome conversations from like me and my grandma recorded. So I definitely was pulling my phone out and hitting record. And then she didn't know. She's too old.
Yeah. What does she know?
Yeah, but which is hilarious. Sometimes I wish I could record conversations though. I'm happy.
I'll tell you what was it, last year or the year before? Whenever we had that fucking crazy tornado here that like knocked out all the power and shit. I told you about that, right?
Yeah. You got lost internet.
Yeah. That was brutal.
Which is the best.
It was awesome, except I had shit to get done.
If I didn't have said you were sitting outside the gym.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
But we went to me and my neighbor across the street. We were like partners in crime. We went down to the town to complain, and we left, and I was like, "Don't worry, I was recording it." He's like, "So was I."
Man, that's another thing, is you live out of town, so you kind of have like that friendship with your neighbors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you lived in New York, you wouldn't.
I would. No, I totally would. Yeah.
Oh, dude, well, if I was your neighbor, I wouldn't.
When I lived in Brooklyn, when I lived anywhere like in Long Beach and Long Island, which is like that too. That's what I do, man. I make friends with strangers on the block. That's my thing.
Oh shit. Maybe like a few months back, I brought up on the podcast, we were talking, I talked about my neighbor, how he lets his dog just run up to me.
Oh yeah.
And how it drove me fucking nuts.
You started telling me the story and I was like, save it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, tell the story.
Okay. Well, on the podcast though, I brought that up and I said, is that weird that I don't want this guy's dog just coming up to me? It like jumps at you and stuff like that. We'll be bringing groceries in. He just lets it off its leash.
Right.
And you said, no, I don't think it's like, you didn't find it weird, but I was in New York because I find it weird. Like people just like let their dogs come up to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know if that's weird. I was in New York. Everyone keeps their dogs on leashes.
Yeah.
Their dogs like don't pay you any attention.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. They're like the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Erin tells me that the dog like came up to her the other day as she's getting groceries out of the vehicle. And this guy just goes, don't worry, he's friendly. And the dog's like pushing up at her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, she's trying to take the fucking groceries inside.
Yeah.
So I'm like already heated about this, but I don't see the guy. So then this was actually just like 2 weeks ago that I text you.
Right.
So we pull up at our house. I run in, I get the door. I step in the door. It's like really cold out, snowing here. And I can kind of hear Erin going like, no. And I open the door and this dog's jumping up at her. And then it turns and tries to push in my house. And like my cats are there.
Yeah.
And so I kick this thing in the head, which is like completely fair. It's coming after me and like, my cats.
Hold on. So the way you originally told this, I thought this dog was being a lot more violent. But the way that you're telling the story now, it doesn't seem violent at all.
Okay, well,
it seems like it's just being like, I want to play.
No, it was definitely like pushing in at us.
But in a violent way?
Oh, yeah, dude. This dog's a big dog, too.
Teeth were out, like...
Yeah, not to me, maybe more towards my cats.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to... You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I kick this dog. This guy's like across the street, but he's on his cell phone.
Yeah.
He walks across calmly. This dog's like down my steps now. He's just on his cell phone. He ignores me. He just goes like, come on, to his dog.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, man. I just fucking went off on him. I was like, hey, motherfucker, put your dog on a leash or control him.
Yeah.
He's on his phone. He like takes it away from his ear like I'm bothering him. Like And he's like, calm down, which has like the complete opposite effect.
He told
Has
me
the
to calm down. Oh my god.
So it's winter out. I already took my boots off there inside,
See,
but I'm
that's
just kind of
grounds for a
standing.
beating right there.
Yeah. So I grab a boot. I grab a steel toe boot and I step out into the snow in my socks, dude, like a foot and a half of snow.
Oh my god.
And I'm yelling at this guy. And at one point he says, what does he say to me? He says, get a job. That's what he said to me.
Get a job.
Which I have no idea why he said that to me.
What time of day was it?
It was like noon. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, get a job.
I did take the day off work. So.
Oh, see. Yeah, there you go.
But also, like, what the fuck's he doing? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So this guy's wearing pajama pants. So I'm like, get a job.
There you go. There you go.
Dude, I went right off on him. I was like, get a job, man. You're wearing fucking pajama pants. And I was, oh man, he's walking away. And I can't really remember because you know when you're so heated, you're just like yelling shit.
You don't even know what happens.
Yeah, you have no idea. And I was like, he kept stopping and he's on his fucking phone the entire time. Kept like taking it away from his ear.
That's so annoying.
Yeah. Oh man, I was just yelling at him as he was walking away. Told him not to stop. I haven't seen him since. I felt like now as a neighbor, I gotta like go up to him.
Yeah, and do what?
And be like,
apologize?
Hey, man. No, I'm not gonna apologize. I'm
Good.
just gonna let him like, don't let that shit happen.
That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let that happen again.
And like, yeah, I'm not gonna apologize.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
That guy needs to leash his dog.
Yeah, right.
Can't let you. What kind of dog is it?
It's like a mix mutt.
Yeah, but like, is it a big dog or a little dog?
Oh yeah, big dog.
Okay,
probably comes up to my waist.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, definitely. For Aaron, I'm not as concerned for me. I'm more concerned about Aaron. You know.
Right.
And if it's pushing into our house, that's fucked up.
Then what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do with a giant dog in your house?
Kill it, right?
Yeah, I think you got to kill it. Pull the pin in a grenade, throw it in its mouth when it barks.
I was like, this is the story I'm going to be telling on the podcast. His dog came in the house, tried to kill my cats. I had to kill his dog. He came in, had to kill him.
In the middle of your rage, you're just like, keep the rage going. Good podcast story.
Oh, the podcast is going to love this.
I wonder how many dinosaurs this kick is going to get.
Good. Other neighbors are trying to help. Body count's going up. Yeah.
Wait, is the podcast live right now?
Dude, it was so bad though, and I probably looked bipolar because then the kid next door, I could hear my neighbor talking to him like after the fact because they both have their dogs out there, and he's like, "Can you believe it? He's just freaking out because my dog like came up his stairs." And the guy's like, "I don't know though, man. Like your dog shouldn't do that." The kid was being like calm, kind of replying to him. Yeah. Then that kid gets stuck in the snow because we have like 2 feet of snow. Yeah. He gets his car stuck. Yeah. And I'm like out front helping this kid. Yeah. Get his car out, and I'm like all calm and like happy. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I probably look bipolar. Like this kid just seems fucking going off.
No. That's how it works, man. Because if you're not a psychopath, and all you're doing is protecting, you're essentially you're protecting your family, right? Mm-hmm. Wife, cats, kids, brothers, sisters, parents, grandparents. It doesn't matter. You're protecting your domain from, you know, an outside source that's attacking. Yeah. That's I think you're allowed to be nuts in that moment, and then to just go back to being a normal person, like being a normal human being, like helping someone, you know? That guy didn't do anything to you.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
You're right.
He's just like, "Hey, I'm stuck." And you're like, "Hey, I'm your neighbor. I'll help you." And then the other guy's just like,
I calmed down though.
Yeah, but you're fine.
Yeah.
I think you're fine.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing. If there was a dog attacking like my wife or my kids or something like that, I would kick that dog so fucking hard in its face. And I love animals.
It hurt. It sucks that you have to kick the dog. Because it's like, I'd rather kick that guy in the fucking head for letting his dog do that. Because it's not the dog's fault.
Right. Well, mostly. You know, like, yeah, you're right. It's not. But like the guy's got to, it makes you wonder what the dog's like at home. Yeah. You know, does that guy have like bite marks and scrapes all over him because the dog is just a maniac?
Dude, I know you do this too, because I know because we get into like beaking sessions with other people and stuff like that. I'm like just building up ammunition.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
I'm like, I seen him wearing like a intramurals, like a elementary school intramurals T-shirt, and I'm like, oh, there's fucking fuel.
There's so much to say.
Yeah.
So much. You start
Actually, I
taunting
seen
the
him.
dog like every week so that you
Yeah.
can say some shit to this guy.
Well, like after the fact, I was like, "Fuck, I should have said something about that." You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like, there's ammunition. And like, yeah.
Yeah,
But I haven't.
sometimes when you're heated, it's hard to like it's hard to pull out of the vault
Yeah.
because you're just like so in the moment.
You know what's the best? Is when you're calm and the other person is angry.
Yeah. Oh, and
Dude,
then
you got the upper hand. Yeah.
you're just stringing them along.
Me and my twin brother do that to each other.
Yeah.
Like one of us will be so angry.
Yeah.
And the other one just knows it and then can just like get those beaks going.
You know what that makes me think of too, and my sister-in-law pointed this out, and then my wife and I realized it. Our new thing that we do is we just like, my wife and I are both very confrontational people, but not like confrontational like we like start shit, but like if like we don't ever back down from a confrontation, we just like absorb that and we soak it up, you know, like we're not shy.
Yeah.
And we never fight. We get along great. But we do this thing where we are very passive aggressive towards one another.
Yeah.
Just to like break each other's chops like so hard. And it like it really works. Like it really works like really bad. Because we'll just get so mad just because of like the weird like underhanded like under our breath shit that we'll say to one another. Yeah. And it's the funny like we laugh, like we get mad and then we laugh about it. But like my sister-in-law got caught in the crossfire one day and she was like, "Are you guys okay?" And we're just like ripping each other to shreds.
But don't you love it?
It's so much fun. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, except for you have a friend that prides themselves on talking trash.
Yeah.
And I'm in a group chat with them.
Yeah.
And I think we hurt his feelings. But he comes at us.
Nah, I don't think so.
He's hurt.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he cares.
I think he does.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he's busy. I think he's busy living his life. I think you think about it too much.
No,
and I think that means that he wins. If you talk trash to somebody and then you think that they're upset and all this stuff and blah, 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 you're thinking about it. And he's just like, what? I wasn't even thinking about that. You lose.
No, I think though he does take it really hard because I'm in another group chat with him where he clearly takes it very hard.
Oh, it's yeah, he's got like crying emojis and shit.
Well, he started another group chat without the dudes that were trash talking him. Yeah, I think he takes it hard.
Dude, it's really funny. I do that shit to my daughter, my oldest. I break her chops so bad. And as she's almost 7 years old now, she's like really got the hang of it and she does it to me.
Which hurts.
It's so, the funniest thing is she goes, I do this shit all the time, like where she'll do something and I'll be like, whatever it is, I'll be like, "You're not supposed to do that. You know that, right?" I say that to her. And it's just like, it's so condescending. Yeah. And she did that to my wife today. She was like, you know, you did that, right? It was just, whatever to my wife. She's like, "You know that, right?" And she's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Whoa, that was obnoxious." And like, literally within 30 seconds, I said it. And she's like, "Oh, well, that's where she gets it from."
Oh, man.
I'm just like raising such a little asshole. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's a New York thing.
What, being condescending?
No, just an asshole.
Being an asshole? Yeah. And it's great. Yeah. We all love it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't like it when people... That's, you know, like, I've been to the West Coast a bunch of times, and one of the things that bothers me the most about the West Coast is the passive-aggressive nature of a lot of people. Like, I was in Seattle years ago, and it was like a cafe, and there was a sandwich up on the board, and I was like, I love that, except can I get it without peppers or something?
Without garlic.
Yeah, whatever it was, something. Something I didn't want to eat because it would have bothered me or something like that. Not because I was being picky, just because I was like, hey, that is going to make me feel sick. But the rest of the sandwich sounds great. She's like, well, we really don't do that. And I was like, okay. I was like, can you? You know? She's like, well, I mean, I guess I can ask. Like that kind of shit. And I'm just like, say no. If you don't want to do it, just say no.
Yeah.
You know? And
you're right.
If it costs extra, I'll give you an extra $2 to pull the peppers off the sandwich if that's what it takes. You know?
It's weird because I'm Canadian, so we're also
passive aggressive.
Pretty passive aggressive. Yeah.
You probably deal with that shit all day.
Yeah. East to west.
I can't. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with
East
it.
is yeah.
If there's a problem, just tell me there's a problem. Just say no. Sorry, we don't do that. How hard is that?
Sorry, I'm gonna say, when you ask me to do something, I'm gonna say, sorry, we don't do that.
Then I'll be like, all right, cool, thanks. Hey, Brent's getting cooler.
He says no all the fucking time, but
oh man, we had a really interesting conversation about you and your lack of worth, your lack of self-worth, the other day.
Yeah.
That's for some reason that just made me think of that.
In terms of like what I charge.
Yeah, because you're just like, oh, this person wants me to do a design for $25.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you shouldn't do that. It should cost $1,000 for that. And you're like, well, I mean, I'm having fun doing it, so like that's kind of worth something. And I'm just like, that doesn't pay your bills.
No, I know it, but what's weird is like I grew up in a place that like doesn't value, I guess, like what I do, except for I found my path and like
except for when you have clients that are in a place that values what you do. And
yeah, that's
still
true.
Want to pay you pennies.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing is like I'll tell you sometimes like prior to starting the job.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? Like, you've helped me through like tons of negotiation.
Right.
And I always get really good.
More than you would have gotten.
Oh yeah.
If you came up with the price.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And every time, so then I know what my value is. And I'll ask for that next time. Mm-hmm. And people will be like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I just hit this spot where somebody like tell me.
Yeah.
What they have to spend, or it's like a job that I really want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, but that's a different story. Like if it's a job you really want to do, I do that all the time where I'll bend and I'll just be like, I'll take less money because I really want to do this job. I think that's okay. It's where when it happens constantly is where you got to draw the line.
And I don't do it constantly with the same clients, but I definitely undervalue what I do.
See, there's also, this is an argument that people have about a creative lifestyle is kind of like that, the hustle versus the this and that, all those things about like how much are you supposed to work, what's acceptable, what's not, and all this shit where a lot of the people who should be having the conversation never do. It's always just like people who think that they're important in that conversation. But I want to hear about like from the people who've been doing it for years. I want to hear about, there's plenty of people that could talk about it that I would love to hear from, and I never do. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, perfect example. There was a designer I knew who would sometimes take off like 2 or 3 months in the year because he was like, I make enough throughout the year. I can take off that time. And my response is like, well, what if you take off 2 or 3 months and then the jobs that you were expecting just didn't show up? And then guess what? Now you're on a forced vacation because you don't have any work.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you do then?
I mean, we just talked about this. Yeah. It's the holidays. We both took off time. We both ended up working.
Yeah.
Because it came through. The
opportunity's there. Why not take it?
I do dumb stuff too. Like, I think my 9 to 5 is like limiting me in terms of I don't have to charge like a lot.
Right.
So I sometimes like just don't.
Yeah, but think about it this way. If you got a 9 to 5, it's paying you a salary and whatever. You don't have to worry about health insurance and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You make a couple bucks here and there freelancing on the side. But what if you made a lot more than a couple bucks doing the same exact shit?
Yeah.
Isn't that better?
I mean, me and you debate this all the time. Mm-hmm. And my biggest problem too is like, there was like a stretch of 6 months, I guess, to a year there where I was charging like good amounts, making good on the side.
Yeah.
And it almost like that becomes its own thing, like the negotiating and stuff like that, which mm-hmm. and I don't know if I like it. It almost like I'll be really excited about a job, and I'll be getting like a really good amount.
Yeah.
But it's not as much as I got on my last job.
Right.
But the last job I really didn't care about. Do you know what I mean? This one I do care about. But then I start like going like, do I care about this job? You know what I mean? And I care about every job is the problem. The exact same, but you have to charge differently based on the client and where they're at.
You should never charge differently based on how much you care about a job. Honestly, if you don't care about a job, I would charge more. Yeah, that's the only thing that's going to get you through to the end of the finish line on that one, you know?
You know what though? You said that to me last time. Like I was like, I don't want to do this fucking job.
Yeah.
And you were like, just charge like then like what you do it for.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I threw out like a dumb number. And they're like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, it almost starts lessening other work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I care about it all.
Yeah.
But it's like, but by putting, like, you know, we don't charge like a mom and pop the same as you charge like.
Right.
Yeah. Like
if there's someone who owns like a little bookstore on the corner and they're like, I really want to have new bookmarks made versus a multimedia mega conglomerate that makes $1 gajillion a year, obviously you got to scale, you know, because also that multimedia conglomerate is also going to be seen by 100 million people or 1 billion people, and the mom and pop is going to be seen by 1,000 people. So you got to think about it from that scale too.
That's another thing is like I was really bad in the beginning at like charging what it's worth. Like somebody'd be like, for merch, like we're only going to do this many. We're only going to print this many. So it's like, all right, well, I can't charge like, you know what I mean? Like they got to make their money too.
Yep.
So it's like you work with them. And in the beginning, I wouldn't put that in the contract.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd see it like 6 months later because they sell it, and they just keep reprinting it.
Right.
And also they keep reselling it, so they're not coming back to you for new designs. They're selling that shit. Well, that's lasting, and you're kind of in a shit situation. So it's like those things start becoming tricky.
Yeah, not if you quote it correctly. You're not in a shit situation.
I mean, I've learned, right? I mean, I've learned a lot of that. I've learned honestly from you.
Well, a good way to handle that, if anybody's listening, they're wondering about it, is like that's where you get into like the licensing aspect of shit. Yeah. Where it's just like, okay, you are licensed to sell this shirt for 1 year. Anything beyond 1 year, you got to come back to me because guess what? I own basically like the IP for it or whatever. You know, you're just renting it from me.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with a lot of these projects. You give them buyouts. You know, if you pay the first price, you get it for 6 months. You pay the second price, which is maybe twice the first price, you get it for a year. And if you pay the last price, which is maybe 3 or 5 times or 10 times more, you get to keep it forever and you do whatever the hell you want with it. And people, that's what people want, you know? Like people want to be able to own something and not like, especially in advertising, you'll get like, sometimes they only want it for a year. Sometimes it does great and they come back and they're like, let's renew. Then it's just the gift that keeps on giving because then you're just making money for nothing.
Yeah.
You know? So if you can get involved with licensing, forget about even like what you get in that first round. There's the chance that it comes back because it's successful and they want to keep paying for the license or they want to buy you out. So either way, you're making money for nothing that way. And that is essentially part of the goal of doing anything on your own is how do you get that income coming in while you're not killing yourself trying to make it, you know? And I think there are some people who will say like, well, I'm not greedy. I don't need a lot. And it's like, that's true. You're not greedy, but we don't have the type of lifestyle that affords us to, you know, I'm talking independence, you know, we don't have the type of lifestyle where we collect a paycheck and we have health insurance and social security and retirement plans and blah, blah, blah. That's all on you. So like, if you feel comfortable enough in your life to say that someone's going to offer you X amount of dollars to do this, but you planned on taking a 2-month vacation, you don't want to interrupt it, you weigh what is more important. Is it more important for you to have those 2 months off? Is it like a mental health break? Or is it just something where you're being kind of like selfish to yourself and you're just being like, well, I just want to be able to say I can take 2 months off, you know, like is that more important to you, or is it more important to, keep the factory moving, keep churning things out, keep collecting? Because one of these days you're not going to be able to do it, and then what? You're not going to have anyone. You got to support yourself, and you got to support yourself for your future. Maybe you have a family, maybe you don't, but at some point you're going to have to retire. Even just because you're just too old to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to support yourself somehow,
And it's hard. This sounds like it's going to make me sound like an asshole, but like what we do is special. Like what a lot of people do is special,
right.
But like branding, design. I'm not saying like my designs that I've done are special.
No, they're
but
not.
The industry itself, they're not. You know what I mean? Like the industry itself is a special thing.
When you get into anything where people are specialists in a field, I mean, you gotta assign a certain type of value to that. You don't work and train yourself for so long. Like there are some jobs where you can learn how to do it in a day. Yeah. There are other jobs that take years and years. Like people value doctors. Why do people value doctors? Because they study for friggin' years and years to understand everything inside of us, how it works, how you can fix it, how to make it better. These are things that not just anyone can learn. You are a specialist in a certain thing. Therefore, you should get paid more because you're there to offer something that most people either don't understand, can't learn on their own, don't have the resources to learn. The list goes on and on. Yeah. Anything that's specialized, really not. Well, maybe I am, not so much you. But what's the matter? You lost? Would you lose?
No, you're back. I just lost sound for like 2 seconds.
You lost sound? I was insulting you.
Oh, good.
God damn it!
Great, dude. It's built in.
Oh God! Now your mic is really low.
Really?
Yeah. You fucked it up.
How about now?
Nope.
Still low.
Still low. What happened?
That's
your
weird. Your
computer's a piece of shit.
Yeah, my computer can't handle it.
You got that Canadian bullshit.
It's saying my mic is perfectly fine.
It's hot?
It's hot.
All right. Well, we'll see how that works. It sounds low to me now.
It sounds low.
Yeah.
Maybe that's on your end.
No.
Did you turn something?
No, I didn't do shit.
All your sound.
I was sitting here. I was about to say something really profound, and now I forgot what it was because I'm tired.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're talking about is really great. Licensing and things like that. And like, I guess I think that's still something that's hard to overcome.
Right.
I almost need to like put myself in a situation where I need the money.
That's like, I think you always have to just think about the fact that you always need the money.
Yeah.
Because money goes away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like money comes and goes. Like say you get a job, a freelancing job that pays you $200,000. Mm-hmm. And you're like, that's great, man. I could like literally take the next year off and live really comfortably.
Yeah.
But then what happens after you take a year off? What's there? You spent the money, Yeah. You took off like how many months in a row? Now you're rusty. Now you got to get back in the flow of things. Now you got to pick up work. Like to me, the only thing that money gives me is comfort to know that I'm able to put stuff away for the future, for when I'm old or when my kids need it or whatever. That's more of the reason why I continually work, because I know that being able to save as much as I can means that when times are tough, I can just take it a little bit easier than I normally would.
Yeah.
It's a security blanket. It's a safety net. That's what it's there for. Like if there's an opportunity, if someone's trying to give me money and I'm like, nah, I'm taking off right now. Like I'm not going to do that, because if it's like, even like it's a $10,000 job, man, $10,000 can go a long way when you're having a rough year.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess this is the thing for me is like, and this is totally not true, but it's just like a shitty perspective on this, which is like, I have a hard time doing something when I know I'm doing it for the money, because I definitely I didn't pick this career for the money.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm never doing a job for the money.
Right.
But I need the money.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's a really, like we just said, like you're like the quality of your work doesn't go down based on the pay.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't do this for the money.
Yeah.
I do this
No, I
just
know
because
you
I
don't.
love to do it.
Yeah. And that makes sometimes, I guess, mostly dealing with the money shitty.
Yeah.
Like
It's not fun. I mean, it's definitely
yeah.
not fun. Like I do it a lot, and
Yeah.
it's not. I hate being in negotiations. I hate going through all that stuff because it's also you don't want to have a strained relationship with a client, and as soon as money is involved with anything, it strains a relationship. It could
Yeah.
be with a significant other, it could be a family member, a friend, business associate, like fucking. It could be a dude on the street asking you for
Yeah.
change. You know, like there was one time. There was one time
Yeah. I fucking hate that.
I was driving in Manhattan, and some dude asked me for change, and I was just like in the city, I don't pay attention to people who do shit like that because you don't know what they're up to.
Yeah.
And I was driving, and I just ignored him, and he got real violent and started like punching my car and shit. So I was just
Because you
like,
ignored him.
I'm glad I didn't give you anything.
Yeah.
You know,
You're that kind of person. He needed the money for his. He's being sued right now.
Yeah.
The last person he freaked out at.
He needed the money for the rest of his karate lessons.
Yeah, man. You're right. Like money just kind of strains that like that's what sucks is it strains a relationship because I guess like I love working with companies and I know you do as well where it's like you build that relationship and you're super like you're both excited about like the outcome of what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I mean those situations and those clients usually money doesn't strain the relationship because it's understood you know going in. But there's definitely cases where like you finally get like that established, that negotiation done.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like you lose the motivation, not the motivation, but like you're not as excited to go into a project, even though you're making good money.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely puts a damper on the creative excitement that starts a project.
Yeah.
You got to get used to that shit though.
Yeah.
Because that's unfortunately like whenever I do talks about like the business side of things, it's always just like none of us want to do this. Otherwise, we wouldn't be artists. We would be in sales, or we would be working on Wall Street or some shit.
Yeah.
If that's what we cared about, that's where we would be. But we're not. We're artists. It's just part of the like. You still got to live.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, we there's a lot more that we could talk about with this. If anybody has any questions about this kind of shit, like write in. Like we're not scared to talk about it. And I think between the two of us, we have pretty good perspective of like, you know,
starting off.
And, a little bit more like rookie versus veteran type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I will say, I ask you all like you've written emails for me.
Yeah.
Like that one time when that client just wouldn't pay me.
Yeah. Yep.
You wrote pretty much all my emails.
Yeah, it's a language you need to learn for sure, and it's something that I got to learn because of the fact of how I started, where I just didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm glad that I know how to say those things and handle those things. But it's important. It's definitely important.
Yeah, and me and you talked about that as well. Is like when you go through something like that, the fact that you're going through a situation where like a client's not paying you and you're fighting for your money, you already fucked up.
Yeah.
In the very beginning.
Yep.
Before you even started the project, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, you fucked the contract up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it still happens to the best of us too.
For sure.
Like you can't be perfect. It's always negotiations never get easier. Even when you get to really, really big projects, one will come along where someone will just like a wrench gets thrown in the gear somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? And that's just it's business, man. That's just what happens. But
I want the Da Vinci deal.
What do you say?
I want the Da Vinci deal where somebody just pays me.
Yeah.
And I just sit there and make things.
Yeah, where's that fucking money?
That's what being an intern for John's like.
Yep.
That's what, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just make whatever I want all day.
You are very low, and I can't hear a goddamn thing you're saying.
Still.
Yeah. But the good thing is that I'm usually not interested in what you have to say. So it works out for me. But I think it's a good place for us to end it.
Yeah.
What do you say? What was that? Wasn't interested anyway. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. I think this is the last one for the year. What is it? December 28th?
Yeah.
Well, it's December 28th where I am. It's December 27th where you are.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, I crossed over. I'm a time traveler. What can I say? So this is the last one for 2019. This was a slow one. It was a crazy year, but in the next episode we're gonna review. We're gonna do a 2019 review and a 2020 look ahead. Bet everybody's excited for that. Most of it's just gonna be me not listening to Brent though, so that'll be pretty good for everybody involved, I think. So if you feel so inclined, why don't you rate and review the podcast on iTunes? Because we haven't been around that much, so we need a little bit of a boost. Go check out CantinoBook.com, CantinoWorkshop.com, CantinoStudio.com. Oh, man. Speaking of which, we're going to have to take this one off air, or maybe I'll leave it to the podcast to decide. I've been really into these alternate domain name suffixes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to change it, man. I don't want to I'm over .com.
Yeah.
I got bornweird.wtf.
Me and you were talking about this months ago.
Love it.
A year and a half ago.
Yeah.
When you told me, because I couldn't get .com.
Yeah.
And you're like, don't even worry about .com. It's gonna be dead soon.
Doesn't matter.
It's over.
It's so over.
Yeah.
I think I bought Cantino.studio, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I also wanted to get Cantino.xxx, but it's under the category of pornography.
I think you should do it.
I don't want to show up as a porn website. I really like XXX, you know?
I think you should do it.
Yeah, but I think it's also I think it costs a shit ton though. I think it's $99 a month or something to have a .xxx.
Not worth it.
Nah. But it was I like that it exists. You know? But yeah, and also hit us up at nosecast.com. 2020, we're gonna do some new Nosecast shit. We'll finally get some merch up. We'll redo the website a little bit so it's a little bit easier to use, and we'll get all the videos up on the website too. So it's just not everything's all together in one place. Yeah, that's it for us for 2019. Do you have any parting words for this year, Brent? What was
Nothing.
that? What? Huh? Okay.